Here's a short story, Jack and the Beanstalk, about a 5-minute read. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Jack. He and his mother were very poor. They had only one cow, which suddenly stopped giving milk. "We have nothing to eat," his mother sighed. "Take the cow to market and sell her for a good price." On the way, Jack met an old man with a goatee. "Where are you going, boy?" asked the old man. "To sell the cow," replied Jack. "How about I give you magic beans for it?" The old man squinted slyly. "Plant them, and they'll grow to the sky." Jack thought, beans are beautiful, and gave the cow away. Seeing the handful of beans, Mom flew into a rage. "Our only cow for some seeds." She snatched the beans and threw them out the window. "Go to bed without supper." Jack went to bed hungry and didn't notice the miracle that had unfolded outside. In the morning, sunlight burst into the room, and shadow. Looking out the window, Jack gasped. A gigantic stalk had grown out of the ground. Its top touched the clouds and reached into the sky. Jack was a curious boy. Without thinking, he grabbed the stalk and began climbing. He climbed for a long time, the clouds tickling his heels. Finally, he reached the top and found himself on a heavenly road that led him to a huge castle. He went inside and saw a giant. It was a huge, shaggy giant with a copper nose, sitting at the table and sniffing the air. "Fee-fi-fo-fum," the giant roared. "I smell a human spirit. Alive or dead, I'll have it for dinner." But then his wife, a fat and kind giantess, ran out from behind. "Husband, calm down, it's just a spirit blown in from England," she said, winking at Jack. "Get in the oven quickly, he'll be gone in a minute." The giant wandered around, sniffed, and, not finding Jack, went off in search of treasure. He had a habit of counting his gold before every meal. Jack poked his nose out. He saw the giant open a chest full of gold coins, sit up, and begin counting. 1, 2, 3, and fall asleep to the monotonous counting. Jack couldn't stand it any longer. He slipped out as quietly as he could, grabbed the bag of gold, and ran for the stalk. He slid down like a slide and landed right on the kitchen table. "Mom, we're rich," he cried. They bought food, a new cow, and lived happily ever after. But Jack wasn't satisfied. The next day, he climbed the stalk again. He found himself back in the castle and hid in the stove. The giant roared again, but calmed down and sat down to count. This time not gold, but golden geese. He pulled out one, a magical hen that laid eggs of pure gold. "Cluck cluck," said the hen, laid an egg, and fell asleep. Jack grabbed the hen under his arm and ran down the stalk like a squirrel. The giant woke up, but it was too late. The third time was the riskiest for Jack. He rose again and saw the giant playing a golden harp, and the harp itself was singing sweet songs. These songs made everyone around him fall asleep. The giant fell asleep. Jack snatched the harp and rushed toward the stalk. But the harp woke up and screamed in a human voice. "Master, they're stealing me." The giant jumped up, stamped his foot, and the whole mountain shook. He rushed after Jack. But Jack was already falling, clinging to the leaves. "Mom, an axe!" he screamed. Mom ran out with a sharp axe. Jack jumped to the ground, grabbed the axe, and crack, crack, crack. He cut the stem at the very root. The giant roared, staggered high above, and fell down, stem and all. On the ground, he instantly transformed into an ordinary old oak tree, and the golden harp began to sing softly and quietly. The hen clicked. The sack of gold didn't need to be counted. Jack never climbed into the sky again. He realized, the best treasure is when you're home, with your mother, and have a hot dinner. And so the story ends, and whoever listened, well done.